Hi, Colleen.
Hey, John. Good to see you.
So how are you doing personally? How's your family? How are you coping and getting through
Yeah.
just as a human being?
I think I'm doing okay. I think I've kind of adjusted to the new normal. I'll admit that the first, month of this, maybe 3 weeks was taxing, just getting used to, leading an organization and then, dealing with homeschool and kids and, working from home sometimes and then going to the office sometimes. It's just, there was no uh, rhythm to it, but I think we've kind of picked up something good now. And thankfully, I have a partner who does majority of the of the work with the kids, so that's been great. So I think we're in a better place. And I'll say too that outside being nice, that is so helpful.
So I know you've had to pivot and adjust, and the
Hmm.
Chief Seattle's clubs focus and programs, and you had a lot going on before this with the new housing project, and
Yeah.
you had to continue to serve homeless Native people in our community. How have you
Hmm.
had to adjust your programs and pivot, and what's been important in your leadership through that? What are some lessons as a leader that you've learned and had to draw on in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think it's been a challenge, that's for sure. And we have had every policy that we used to have is just thrown out the window right now. We've had to shut down some of our programs where we have people in tight spaces. We shut down our day center area, which we generally have right now anywhere between 30 to 50 people just hanging out in that space. And we've moved everything outside. So all of our food is being served outside. Our traditional healer is outside. Our nurse goes in and out to try to triage what's going on out there. And that's been really tough. We've also had to really limit access to our bathrooms. So so now we are only allowing two at a time. So two men, two women at a time in the bathrooms. That's been really tough. I think that we have a lack of bathrooms for our homeless community already, but they were using community centers and libraries and Starbucks and all these places that were generous enough to allow that to happen. And now we don't have that. And so every night we have somewhere between 5 to 6,000 folks who are sleeping outside and they have nowhere to go. And so it's very hard to limit access to a bathroom when it's just, a normal human bodily function. And we're just in a weird spot with that. So that's probably the hardest part of it all.
And then your housing project, what's the status of that? I drove by the club earlier this
Yeah.
week and saw a lot of activity and construction equipment, and then you've set
Yeah.
up, I know, food service outside for
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
clients. But what's the status of the housing project that you were developing on Second and just off Yesler?
Yeah. Just right next to Smith Tower. It's going well. We are publicly funded, so we receive funding from the Office of Housing, from the legislature, from all over the place, right? So publicly funded low-income housing projects that are already in construction are exempt from the stay-at-home order. So we're really grateful for, some amazing team construction crews that are out there and are actually doing the work. And that building is about to come down, which is pretty exciting because it's been a while now. And we are just we're thrilled that is going on. And I think that as we start recovering from this crisis as a community, it's going to be really important to see the support for construction teams out there to be, to give them that support, to give them that love that they're going to be doing some pretty essential work as things come back online. So we are in construction, and we also are doing, our regular stuff right next door, which has been kind of funny and weird. On one day, I remember watching the construction site just being incredibly active. We're serving food. We had our traditional healers, and stuff going on with that. And then we also had COVID-19 testing happening. So we're doing COVID-19 testing in partnership with the Seattle Health Board twice a week. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, they have their doctors, they have their nurses out there. and we're getting a lot of people tested, and it's been really great. But it's right next to the construction site, so it's this very bizarre time. We're jackhammering, and it's just a weird time, but also taking it over and, wanting to serve people and make sure that they get access to testing and food and all those essential services.
How did the testing come about? Is that something you wanted to be able to provide at that location, and you initiated that?
Yeah, well, actually, no, testing has been tough. And I have a really amazing partner in this work. Her name is Esha Lucero. She's the CEO of the Seattle Health Board. They've been providing our nurse and doctor at the Chief Seattle Club for over 20 years. So we have a long partnership with them. They'll actually be running a clinic in our new building. And she just called me up one day and said, listen, let's provide testing in front of your building if possible. And I was 100% behind that idea. What has been pretty interesting for us is that another thing that we've really worked hard on is to get some of our vulnerable people, elders, medically fragile people. About a month ago, we started putting them in hotel rooms. And that was, totally funded by the generosity of the Seattle community. We had funding from the Seattle Foundation, from the Group Health Foundation, immediately reaching out to us and saying, we know that you're serving a vulnerable community. Here are dollars. And so we were able to put people into hotel rooms about a month ago. And I think have really saved lives by giving them that opportunity to self-isolate. So that was happening, and we aren't seeing as many of our regulars at the Chief Seattle Club now because of that and other factors. So when we're doing COVID-19 testing outside, maybe half of them are not Chief Seattle Club members. And I think that's been pretty amazing to see that there is, support for the residents, the business owners in Pioneer Square, and also other folks who've been experiencing homelessness. So it's been pretty exciting. I'm so proud to work with the Seattle Health Board. They're an incredible organization and have been, stepping up in big ways for the community.
Yeah, you really do have a lot going on outside your front door there. That's terrific. What's been important in your own leadership and how you've had to lead your team and organization and your board through this? Are there some qualities that you're kind of really leaning on as a leader through this time?
Yeah, it's, I think for all of us who are essential workers and we have staff who are, really at risk for getting COVID-19, I think that one of my major focuses has just been, how do we care for that team? How do we show them that they're appreciated and we're watching out for them? And, we started offering premium pay. I think we're maybe one of the first, nonprofit homeless providers to start that. And again, that was because of generosity of the Seattle community that we were able to do that. But I thought that was really important to me, to be able to say, we see that this is hard, and we want to give you that extra assurance that we're watching out for you and caring about you. And today, I think, today everyone who's working in our day center is getting this a little gift bag. We're just trying to do all we can to support that. And I think as a leader, that is paramount, to take care of your team, to be watching out. And I've seen you do that, John, too, as a DSA. And it's hard in this framework, right? Like, what else can we do? I'm asking our senior leadership team, like, what other things could we be doing? Because this is hard work that we're asking them to do. And I guess, the other thing is I have a board that has just been incredibly supportive. And we have, as an organization, decided to be flexible, decided that we're going to, turn and twist in the way that we've been doing things and adapt to this new culture. And I think that we have, as a Native community, we have an extra boost on that. We've been adapting for a long time, and we also just really deeply care about our community. And I think that finally, I could riff on this for a while, but one thing that's important for me is that we need to remember that COVID-19 is going to impact people of color in a different way than people who are not people of color. And it's important to be thinking about those factors. There's been some work in the media, national media, Washington Post, that talk about, very disparagingly about, people of color having high rates of diseases that make them more likely to get COVID-19. And those are disturbing. And we need to be thinking about that the reason that that Native people or other people of color have these high rates of disease has everything to do with institutional racism that has ensured that people will stay in poverty. In the Native community, we were given commodity foods that were terrible, that were part of our treaty rights, that were terrible for your bodies, right? So that is why we have these high rates of disease, and it's important for us to be, as a community, thinking about those factors as we move into recovery, and make sure that those vulnerable communities are really lifted up and we're thinking about them first.
Yeah, it's not by accident that this virus affects different communities differently, right? What do you want people to know about how they can help and continue to support your work? Like what individuals or other organizations or companies, how can they be helpful to the Chief Seattle Club through this period, and also going forward? What do you need?
We need continued donations. Like I feel like confident about our fundraising right now, and we have seen a tremendous outpouring to the Chief Seattle Club. I know that long term, this is going to be really hard on the Chief Seattle Club, and we're looking for people to continue to donate, continue to be a part of our community in that way. The other thing is to be following us on social media and to be sharing our posts. Like we're doing things in a different way, and I think that it's important for all of us to be looking to communities that have gone through the pandemics before and see what kind of work that has been happening. So following us on all the social media, and then, just being willing to have an open mind about hearing from Native communities and understanding that there might be some wisdom there that we should be looking for.
I appreciate you spending time with me and just more importantly, your leadership and leadership of your staff and all the work you're doing to keep them healthy and safe, and also of all the people that you serve. So you are, you've got two burdens that you're carrying and through a difficult time. And so thanks for what you're doing and for spending time talking to me today.
Absolutely. And can I just give one more big kind of shout out?
Please.
And it's a fellow DSA board member too, but Fair Start has been just incredible. They have just stepped up and are serving so many of our community that in such a powerful way. A quick story is that we had maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago now, our kitchen staff at Chief Seattle Club, because we do tons and tons of food, we thought we had someone who was positive for COVID-19. Everyone thought that he had it, so we had to quarantine our whole staff that had worked with him. And I was like, what are we going to do for food? And I just call up Angela Scholes at Fair Start, and she said, absolutely, we'll start tomorrow. And I just think that is just such wonderful leadership, a wonderful organization. And I know that they have stepped up all over the city and are serving thousands of people food. And it really just gives me chills. They're amazing, and Angela especially has just been incredible. So just wanted to lift up that work and know that around the city there's a tremendous amount of people doing just such courageous, brave work, and I'm proud to live in the city, man.
Yeah, no, we've got a great community, and had a chance to have a conversation with Angela yesterday, and it's been super impressive how quickly they pivoted to
oh my goodness,
from big restaurant operation to feeding people in need and continue to scale it. So amen to the work that they're doing. So thank you again. I hope you continue to stay healthy and safe, and safe for the team and all that you serve, and have a great Friday. It's officially Friday. Even every day sometimes feels like Friday, but I hope you have the rest of your Friday.
Thanks, John. You too. I hope you have a good good weekend.
Take care.